yeah, I mean this is supposed to be a fun episode, so I'm not as worried about it. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
know who threw this up here. I'm pretty sure this is one of your picks.
oh yeah, this is in there.
Like, I picked the episode, but it was definitely on the list because of you, because it
Yeah,
wasn't me.
yeah, this is something I put down. It's not one of my fancier
Which is,
topics, but
I mean, arguably, it's definitely a good topic, because in universe, like, these weren't very, like, utilized, I think, to the best potential that we could have asked for.
so anyway, welcome, howdy, listeners. This is the PoliSciFiPod. I'm Kyle, your co-host,
No, I'm Cody.
the other co-host.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, this week we're doing in this episode should be 6 of the full series. We're going to be doing kind of a sillier one, which I guess we'll do occasionally, but of what do we think would be the best use for the Dragon Balls from the franchise Dragon Ball Z, created by the late great Akira Toriyama. Uh,
Okay, so I think you should better define this, because if we're going strictly off of Dragon Ball Z rules, there's a lot of changes in the Dragon Ball rules within Dragon Ball Z. Are we going off of Dragon Ball rules?
um, yeah. So, yeah. For those of you who don't know, who haven't seen Dragon Balls, or are too young to see Dragon Ball, and they're still watching a video about Dragon Ball, but I don't know. I listen to stuff that I have no otherwise interest in, so who am I to judge for you to listen to something you've never listened to? But the Dragon Balls from the series Dragon Balls are a series of orange balls of about the ones from Earth are about hand sized. They fit in your hand. They make bigger ones on other planets, but they're created by these green alien things called Namekians, and when you they make like they're created by like an elder, one of the Namekians. Any elder Namekian can do it. I think just a thing you can do if you become spiritually powerful enough or whatever. And then if you and you can make 7 orange balls, and if you gather them all, you can make wishes. Now the amount of wishes varies depending on whose Dragon Balls they are. In the series, there are Kami's Dragon Balls. There's Dende's Dragon Balls, and Guru, I think was the guy's name, the big alien
Yeah,
from there's Super Kame Guru. I don't know, the big heavy one. Um, but there was an
yes,
alien one from the Frieza saga. But
yes.
yeah, so
Which is
yeah,
kind of funny, because you're talking about Dragon Ball Z abridged
Eh,
when you say Super Kami Guru, which has become almost like synonymous with Dragon Ball Z at this point in time. Was the Team 4 Stars like YouTube release of Dragon Ball Z abridged. So, like, some kids have probably never watched Dragon Ball, but sure as fuck, some kids have probably watched Dragon Ball Z abridged. Um, the reason why I bring this up is because, yeah, like, the difference between the original Shenron Dragon Balls and the um, Namekian Dragon Balls, and I guess the later on, like, the Earth Dragon Balls, is like so significantly better. Like, it's just such an upgrade from one another. Like, you used to get one wish, and now you've got 3. And I think there's a couple of like rule restrictions on the third
yeah.
or the second Dragon
So
Ball set than there is on the original first. But
my assumption going into this was I think I'm gonna go with the the rules for the Dende Dragon Balls, which are the ones the Dragon Balls they create after Kame get merges with Piccolo. Spoilers, and they have to get a new set of Dragon Balls because Piccolo can't make Dragon Balls. It's complicated, but yeah. So I'm basically using the second Earth Dragon Balls. So yeah, the original rules for the Dragon Balls, because I'll explain both of them, both the Earth Dragon Ball rules. I'm not gonna dig into whatever the fuck the ones in Super do, because I haven't.
Yeah,
I've watched one episode of Super, and it was the last one, so I don't know what those
I've
do.
only seen the one where they were gonna kill off Master Roshi, and then they like bowed out of it really quickly.
Yeah, I I watched the finale. It was really cool.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So in the original Dragon Ball, the rules were, uh, I mean, the constant one of the first constant rule, you could only use them once a year. After you use expend the number of
Yeah.
wishes the balls grant you, initially one and then two after Dende makes his set. Uh, After you expend those
Mhm.
wishes, you they are rendered inoperable for a full year, and yeah, so one wish a year or one set of wishes a year. This initially, uh, yeah, I think there's two basic things. Initially, you can only bring somebody back to life once. The Dende Dragon Balls do away with this rule, which they kind of
Mhm.
have to
I thought
because
it was twice.
initially it was only once, but now it's more. I don't know if there's.
Okay.
I don't think anyone's needed to be revived twice now. I'm not sure though.
Y Oh, okay. So, yeah. I think we're saying the exact same thing. Because I did watch a whole bunch of Dragon Ball Z abridged earlier just to get myself back into the universe, and Chatsu says that you can just wish me back with the Dragon Balls, and they're like, no, we can't. You've already been wished back twice, so like you die once, you get wished back. You can't be wished back a second time. But what I was saying is, I don't think you can be wished back a third time, essentially.
Yeah, as far as I know, Dende fixes that when he makes his set. Uh, in the Cell Saga, so that's not a thing
Yeah,
anymore.
maybe.
The other thing, it seems like they have they. It seems like they have unlimited power. It even seems like they have things like they can even do things beyond the power of the person who created them, which is odd. But I mean, I guess it's magic. Um, but yeah, they can bring especially once Dende gets his we get the Dende upgrade. You can bring back you can I mean most of the rules that we get in the show are based around bringing people back to life. Because that's very
Mhm.
central to the show. But yeah, with the Dende Dragon Balls, you can bring back unlimited people, but you have to like bring them back based on like a single wish. Like you have to do something like, okay, bring back all the people that this guy killed, or bring back all the people that died in this incident, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that always felt like a bit of a cop out to me, but that's just me being able to mass resurrect, like bring back everybody that died in the Elon Musk uprising of 2055.
Yeah, I don't know. The one I know there the one limit is if you cannot bring someone back who's been dead more than a year. Also, you need an intact body or a healable body.
Do you?
Yeah. Actually, this was a thing in when they did the Resurrection of Frieza movie. They had to use both wishes from the Dende Dragon Balls to restore his body into physical form, and then they were able to bring him back to life. So they actually need to use two
Huh.
wishes to bring back Frieza for that movie.
Yeah, because I don't think that's ever been a rule of thumb prior to that.
No, it was.
Because
Because
like Chotsu legitimately blew himself up on somebody. Are you telling me that his body was intact after that?
well, I mean, Chaozu was brought back with the second time Chaozu was brought back was back with the Namekian Dragon Balls, which that's not a limit for them, which they're a good bit more powerful even than the Dende Dragon Balls. So there's my that's why it's not a continuity error.
So, so, so I guess my other question is are we talking about if we brought the Dragon Balls here to Earth, or how the people in Dragon Balls should be utilizing the Dragon Balls better?
Mm, I feel like those are similar answers. Um, honestly, because I mean the other limit for the Dragon Balls is someone doesn't want something to happen to them and they can stop the dragon from doing it. The dragon can't do it.
And also within looking into this uh episode, I think I answered one of the biggest questions I've always had about Dragon Ball Z, and it's why their emperor is like a dog. And apparently,
Yeah,
there was one person who used the Dragon Balls prior to like Goku getting like a stranglehold on him, who wished that himself to be a king. And like in theory, it's the emperor who's also a dog.
yeah.
So
Yeah, the last guy to use the Dragon Balls previous to the events of the original Dragon Ball stories is a dog who got all the Dragon Balls, or a dog man who used the Dragon Balls to make himself emperor. Although I don't know that he was a dog. Maybe he was a regular dog before, and he just played fetch real good, and then he made himself emperor. And there's something about being emperor that makes you need to be a dog man instead of just a dog.
yes.
Yeah. Another hand thing about Dragon Balls, uh, you don't need to worry about them like monkeys pawing you. Normally, when you get like a wishes scenario in media, you got to worry about that. But Shenron doesn't seem to roll that way. I think there was a thing in GT where he went crazy, but that was. But as you're casting the wishes, it's not a thing you need to worry about.
And also, I'd argue it's not really a thing you have to worry about in general because I don't believe in the continuity of GT. So
Yeah, fair enough. Even then, they handled it.
if they don't believe in the continuity of GT, I don't believe in the continuity of GT. So
Yeah, they handled it though. Goku handled it. Goku was able to take care of it.
yes.
So yeah, those are the basic rules, and we got two wishes once we've gathered the Dragon Balls. Let's say we do have the Dragon Radar, and that we can easily, because that's what trivializes this. We have the Dragon Radar. We'll say we have the Dragon Radar, and we can track down the Dragon Balls every time they reset.
So do we want like a stranglehold on like what I guess like what is the rules? Like do we have to absolutely gather them every single time?
Yeah, anytime we want to use them. Yeah,
Because in theory, like if you're trying to min max this, like I think the best way to wish it to come about would be to shit. What was I saying? Because in theory, like if you're trying to min max the amount of wishes that you get off of the Dragon Balls, you could in theory wish for um one of your initial wishes could be that you can go gather the Namekian Dragon Balls because the Namekian Dragon Balls are still a thing in this universe. So so if you wanted to have 6 wishes instead of just 3, you could wish that you were transported to Namekian and gather up those Dragon Balls on top of that, make a wish from there. And so in theory you'd have 6 wishes a year.
yeah. You could
Like
also, yeah. That's also a question. Could you like just request that the Mechie and Dragon Balls get teleported to Earth?
yeah, I guess I've never really thought about that. But like if you were like really trying to min max it, you can make one of your wishes be that instead of the Dragon Balls scattering at the end of every year, that they get transported into a case that can't be destroyed by flying magic balls. So every year, instead of you just having to gather them, then eventually you just like go over to your wish cave and have like your Dragon Balls there.
That
But
may
that's
be
also
possible. Like you could like because there is an issue because I think the second or third time they use them, Goku jumps up and grabs the because every time you use the Dragon Balls after you finish, they like scatter in the sky. Um, and I think second
mhm,
or third time they use them, Goku jumps up and grabs the 4-star ball, which is the one that you see on Gohan's hat and all the promotional material, because that one's his Dragon Ball that belongs to his family. So he tracks where that one is, and he jumps up and grabs it. It's deactivated, but he does get it. So like that opens the question: can you just create a big ball around the Dragon Balls before they scatter and catch them all?
because I mean that makes like plenty of years later, like wishes just ultimately so much easier. And I mean, if the answer is it like one of those philosophical questions like from The Simpsons where it's like, can God microwave a burrito like too hot that even God couldn't like eat the burrito type question? Then I mean, yeah, in universe it's not because Goku just catches a Dragon Ball at that point.
Like part of the thing about breaking the Dragon Ball system is that it's already been broken. Like
Mhm.
Balma and Goku have like broken the system, and we're living in a post broken Dragon Ball world. And anything they want to do with it, they can. It's just that they're generally good people and they don't want to bother with it.
Well, I mean, it's also boils down to like what is the purpose of like Goku and like Bulma not like taking a pigeonhole on the Dragon Ball system at this point? Because like the Dragon Radar, like before it used to be like I guess maybe when they were kids it used to be a little bit more than a day's work, but now that there's like Z warriors that can fly around the world that's super hyper speed, it's legitimately like trivializes the whole entire idea of Dragon Ball. So
Yeah, I mean, it's just that like the dragon can't like the Dragon Balls can't give Goku and Bulma anything they want. Is the issue with for them? Like Bulma's fucking rich. She has everything she wants. The original reason she tracked them down is because so she could wish for a boyfriend, and she's got a boy. She's got a husband now. She doesn't need them anymore.
mhm,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. The real wish granted was the homicidal husbands we found along the way. Yeah.
It's also like the amount of times that we see other people in universe like attempt to use the Dragon Balls is like next to zero. Like
Um.
we get like Piccolo trying to use them, we get Pilaf trying to use them, and then like Frieza trying to use them, but we never see wishes in between like main characters dying and like having to be used because like in universe like the whole world just turns dark and then after that go back like everything goes back to normal. So like in theory if other people were using the Dragon Balls like you'd be able to tell and you never see it. So like
There might be a range on the blotting out the sun thing, just based on like some of the continuity clues, but still, if you're
mhm.
even like remotely nearby, you can tell.
And like once again it's never came up in universe that anybody else has tried to use the Dragon Balls except for um the Z gang. So
Well, I mean, people have used them. I mean, Garlic Junior from from the Dead Zone movie, he got them behind the heroes' backs. The
mhm.
Frieza army got a hold of them so they could bring back Frieza back to life in the Resurrection of F movie. the Pilaf gang gets them a couple times. They end up squandering them each time, but they do get a hold of them. King Piccolo, the original Piccolo the First, he gets a hold of them and uses them to make himself younger. Weirdly enough, not immortal, but yeah, he uses them to give himself eternal youth or whatever. Yeah, I mean that's another thing. Like people like the Z fighters have never like wished for immortality. The only guy who Vegeta was talking about doing it, Frieza was talking about doing it, and Garlic Jr. did it. And that didn't end up working too well for Garlic Jr. But I think as far as like Goku's concerned, it's just like, dude, I mean, there's an afterlife. It's not a big deal. You die sometimes. It's like it's you don't they're not worried about death in this as much. It's just an afterlife. You go there and you hang out with your family when you're done. That's just it's not a they've kind of I mean that's kind of it's a thing about enlightenment. They've come to peace with death and they're not worried about it for the most part. Um and the only reason Vegeta wanted it is so that he could kill Frieza easier.
Yeah, but it's easy for Goku to fucking say that shit when like he dies and he just runs Snake Road and like goes and hangs out with King Fi like Kai for the next like 30 centuries or whatever. Like whenever you see Goku's afterlife, it's always like training on King Kai's planet or something. Like if Vegeta was going to like die, I'm pretty sure he's going to hell. I can't remember if there was any other like continuity in the universe that says otherwise, but
Yeah, I forget what happened. Like Vegeta kind of just gets put into holding when he dies in the show because they're just still working with him.
okay.
Um, I don't. They don't end up putting him to the final thing, and he never dies as a villain. Is also the thing. He historically he's died doing a heroic sacrifice or something. Or fighting a greater evil. But I mean, the afterlife in the Dragon Ball universe, they do. You can go to like you can go to the home for infinite losers, but there's also like a heaven, and you can be reincarnated, which is the thing that happens to it happened to Boo. That's why they have Oob.
Sure.
Yeah,
I don't know how much that plays into the continuity
yeah,
in the universe afterwards, because like it was like Akira Toriyama's stopping point that he wanted,
yeah.
and then ultimately it never was his stopping point because he started making Super afterwards. So I don't know
It
how
took him a
much of
while.
like the prologue of Dragon Ball Z is like true to the original Dragon Ball Z timeline. Because like you never see Oob again,
Yeah,
or if you do, he's not like a part of the main cast or anything.
yeah. He's in GT, but they never fucking use him for whatever reason.
But is he in Super? Once again, I could care two flag bucks about like
Super's not at that point yet.
what do you mean?
Uh, Oob is still like
Oh,
yeah, Oob's still like a baby. Um,
okay, yeah.
yeah,
I forgot that Super gets really like fuckety with the timeline.
yeah.
So you telling me that Goku becomes like a Super Saiyan God and then like comes back and's like, I'm gonna train this random like villager that I found like 17 years in the future.
More or less. I think Oob's young, the same, like a little, maybe like slightly older than Pan. And I think
Yeah.
Oob's like 10 when Goku finds him in the Z manga or something. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, I don't think we're not at the point where Oob's old enough to be fighting. Although, like, I mean, Pawn's around, but anyway,
Okay.
yeah,
So yeah, enough about the Dragon Ball Z continuity. Like we should probably talk
yeah,
about the whole entire the like reason why we made this episode. So we're talking about bringing the Dragon Balls to Earth within our within the hypothetical, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay. So we're not making wishes based off of the current Dragon Ball Z universe is what I'm asking, because
yeah.
current Dragon Ball Z universe is a little bit fucky and I don't fully understand all the like political implications of having a dog as a president. So
Yeah.
so are we basing this off of like a political situation how we can best utilize the Dragon Balls as like a whole for humanity
Yeah,
rather than like personally selfish wishing.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, ignoring like saying
Okay,
for the
I'm
sake of
just
argument that like
I'm just trying to get the parameters down.
yeah, and we're saying for the sake of argument we have the Dragon Radar. I just for because yeah, there's obviously like a dumb, boring answer where like, oh yeah, we do it once and then the governments of the world are able to like step in between us and like cause a bunch of problems. So yeah, we're just assuming we can get the Dragon Balls reliably every time.
Okay. Yeah, so at this point in time, I would probably be utilizing them to like get myself into a position that I no longer have to find the Dragon Balls. Like get society to a position that we no longer need uh a magical wish granting dragon to like solve all our problems for us essentially.
Yeah, that's a thing. You could just wish your yeah. Why don't we just start by like wishing ourselves like god emperors of Earth that no one's ever going to overthrow? Like, why isn't that just the first thing
Well,
we do?
I don't think you can surpass the powers of the dragon essentially.
Yeah,
So saying like I wish to be a god isn't a viable like wish. But my intention is not to make myself all powerful. My um
king of the world, anyway.
wishes would be solely based on getting the world to a social like or economic place that like nobody needs wish granting dragons to be able to like survive essentially. And I know it might sound like a little bit like convoluted, like oh he's gonna like wish for like universal basic income with like a wish granting dragon, but like honestly, if we could get like people into a position that they're not like I don't know like working 80 hours a week or like doing illegal shit to be able to like afford like a basic life, then we're in a pretty good position. So I think that would like cover a lot of the issues is just having a universal basic income. So
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of stuff we could do like this. Like we could like I mean, you could almost wish for like what since we have the Dragon Radar, we could just wish for the rest of Bulma's technology. Get like little capsules that that you can like tap and make houses out of. Things that you can like gather a bunch of resources into a tiny capsule. Yeah, there's a lot of sci-fi technology you can just get off the bat right there.
there was a Game Changers clip where Brennan Lee Mulligan's talking about like having a magical three wishes from a genie, and the genie's like giving down the house rules, and he's like instead of like wishing yourself rich, you can just like upend the whole like current social economic system, and like that's not going to be an issue or anything. So like instead of just wishing yourself rich, just fix the fucking system. So that's kind of where I'm coming from is like if we're gonna have magical wishes, then it should benefit more than myself. I think so.
Yeah. Do you just present do you just present Shenron with the Constitution and say, "I want this, please. I want this to be how the government works."
No, fuck no, because I don't believe in the current like United States Constitution is like a general good thing.
No, no, not like United States Constitution, just like a custom made constitution to your liking.
I mean, I don't think like this should be in one person's hand, but if it had to be in my hands, then I guess yes. I think you have a really good point about the current technological stuff in Dragon Ball Z, considering like it would sort out so many issues, and I don't know how they currently utilizes like the capsule corporation in like within the Dragon Ball Z universe currently, but I feel like it's also very underutilized. So But also, like, if we're going solely based off of like all the technology currently within the universe of Dragon Ball Z, like there's cyborgs running around. Balma builds a time machine at one point in time, so we've got time travel and like multiverse theory and like
Yeah, I guess there's also like, I don't know if we want to like, there's also stuff like you could do like, oh, I want the, which might just be done with capsule cores, but you could just like, I want to be able to have a rest like a practicable recipe for a device that can make energy out of nothing. And at that point, you just solve like a bunch of impossible problems.
well,
Yeah, but
okay, but like in theory we already have that because the cyborgs,
yeah,
right?
if we have Dragon Ball technology, I think that's already like done. But if like they're being teleported to our
And like a
world, then yeah, we need to maybe do that. But that's
cyborgs aren't new in the universe either because like the original cyborgs in the Dragon Ball universe it was like up to 8 already.
yeah, Goku meets like Android
So
8
we have like
in like the original.
and it's like a Frankenstein monster,
Yeah, more or less.
but like they have like whatchamacallit, they have infinite like energy sources, like they live for 100 years or whatever. And then we have things like flying airplane, like jet planes and stuff like that that seem fairly um capable.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of just like random wishes you can do. Just like I want this technology that we kind of need, which I think would solve. I mean, if you put in the right technology, you can just like force the political situation to change. Like if you just say, okay, everyone has a thing that can make them like a sandwich whenever they want. That just that totally upends like the political system. Just everything changes.
Yeah, and ultimately, like I don't think they have ever addressed any of the geopolitical issues within the Dragon Ball universe, because all the main characters live in their own like little fucking utopia and stuff like that. But like when you get up until like the last chapter of like Dragon Ball Z, you absolutely see that they haven't done anything to like fix the solutions of the like or the issues of the world, because like Oob's whole like reason that he's joining up to fight in the martial arts tournament is the fact that he his like village is starving, or like the village needs a new well or something like that, so he needs to go fight in a tournament for prize money to win, and then like be able to take that prize money and like use it to
Yeah,
buy food or a well. I can't remember the whole entire situation. So we're still having food shortages and also like water shortages in the world, which doesn't really make any sense when you have capsule technology that like you can just use to bring to the like food deserts, water deserts of
literal
like
food
the
desert.
universe. So literal food deserts at
Yeah,
this point. So like
yeah, and you know what? I also this is just a theory of mine, but there was also a guy that kind of like looked like he was from the same place as Zoob, who fought in the original World Martial Arts tournament and was like dealing with basically the same thing. And like I don't know that they could be from the same place.
yeah, yeah, there was.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe you just yeah, you should probably just be loaning them the Dragon Balls at a certain point.
Yeah, and I guess that kind of brings up my final point is like we would need to figure out a system to try and address the usage of Dragon Balls. Um, and I think that the one way to do that is to uh like do away with individual countries.
Yeah, just wish for the Federation.
Like we have a United Nations system of like yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Rather than like this is strictly a Canadian problem, or like this is strictly a Wales problem, or like we need to figure out like an overarching like system of like wish granting with in this universe, with which is ultimately insane. But once we don't no longer need the Dragon Balls, then we can blow up the Dragon Balls or whatever.
Imagine all the people.
Yeah,
Uh,
like unless like we're being strictly like selfish with the wishes, and then like I don't know, uh dictatorships.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I can't honestly imagine wanting to be a dictator. To, if I'm being honest, I don't think most of us
Well,
would.
not necessarily like necessarily a dictator, but like I want to have enough power and wealth to be able to like utilize it in like a half decent way. And if it's not going to be a democracy, then do I trust other people to like wield this power without like
Mhm.
corruption? Do I believe myself to be incorruptible? I don't know.
Do you believe all your children from now until eternity to be incorruptible?
Yeah, well, no.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing with all dictatorships. It's like, yeah, even if you're trustworthy, that's not to like. Are your kid is your kids going to be trustworthy? Is your kids going to be interested? And so on and so on. Which is the thing none of the fucking
Mhm.
monarchists ever get. Do we wish to get rid of all the nukes?
That's like the same system of argument that like the United States has with itself a lot of the times. Like, what happens if we get rid of all the guns and we can't like overthrow a tyrannical government? Like, we need the failsafe of being armed and ready in case the. And I mean, there wouldn't be like an inside threat of like potentially being like the current government system of being overthrown, but like what happens if there's an outside threat? Like there's a meteor coming towards Earth that's like I guess we I guess we could gather up the
Mhm.
Dragon Balls and like make a wish that the meteor wasn't gonna crash into us and kill
Yeah,
us all. But
yeah. There's an issue of the X-Men where Charles Xavier reveals that he is implanted a mental suggestion in the minds of every political leader that they'll never use a nuclear weapon.
mhm.
Is that maybe a way you approach it? Just like say, okay, no one on Earth will ever use a nuclear weapon against another human.
Against another human is an oddly specific term.
Yeah, I mean, I'm leaving it open for alien invasions or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah, 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 that's maybe a thing you do. Just like, okay, they're around. You're not changing the
And
political
then
assumptions. It's just like, oh yeah, secretly, like no one would ever actually press the button, and like we have a physical thing preventing that now. Whereas nowadays we're just like, oh yeah, we just hope that no one's stupid enough to do it.
I guess that also brings up like the whole Zardos situation. Like, do we become too utopic that we end up like eating ourselves?
Hmm, I mean, I'll worry about that when we actually have one. Like, well, yeah, it's easy to say, like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
hypothetically, if we had a utopia, we'd start stagnating. It's like, yeah, that thing we don't have that's never occurred. Yeah, let's just speculate on whether or not like things can get too good. I think I just don't think that's a
Yeah, fair
productive
enough.
line of logic.
I mean, you have 6 wishes in theory
Yeah,
each year to like improve the lives of like 8 billion people
yeah,
every year. You'd think you would do it, but like even Goku, uh, like Goku's like a farmer who lives off the land and occasionally makes like tournament prize money for
yeah,
like beating people up.
yeah. I mean,
Like that's his whole entire character arc. Like
Goku is not capable of that higher level of functioning. He wants to be tough, and the dragon can't help him be tougher.
until he could.
Yeah, I think yeah, and there's a few occasions, but he can't do that like in perpetuity. And Bulma's just rich and doesn't feel like doing it. I think I talked about her already. We never see any other good guys getting a hold of the Dragon Balls, which is part of the issue. they use the Dragon Balls to restore a forest in one. Oh, is that's an idea? Do we just keep the Dragon Balls on reserve to like pull our ass out of the fire occasionally? Oh yeah, we need to reverse global warming. Let's do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we're mid maxing our wish results, then you'd have 6 wishes per year. So you'd have your initial 3, and then I'm assuming that we have found a way to uh, head to Namek and make wishes for ourselves on Namek
Yeah,
if they don't need the Dragon Balls every year.
yeah. I mean, that's we could also consider like a just gather them all and have them just to, like as a in case of emergency break glass thing, and just like not use them every year.
Yeah, that's also what I was saying. Like within the nuclear option, like when I was like, well, what would happen if there was a like astronaut hurtling towards the Earth? Like, why not just gather up your um 6 Dragon Ball or your 7 Dragon Balls and just wish that the asteroid would go away? According to the internet, like 10 million zenny is only about 90,000 US dollars. So it's not as much money as I thought it was going to be. So
No, I don't think Goku pays taxes either, so that's another thing.
yeah, who's gonna stop him?
Also, the world's owned by one guy. He doesn't need taxes from everybody. He's also a dog. You think dogs are going to
Yeah,
go collect taxes? He probably gets, as long as you play fetch with him twice a month, he's probably fine.
which is actually really funny because like in a world of aliens, they never like, yeah, that dog's an alien. They're like, yeah, that dog gathered up 7 Dragon Balls and wished that he was king. So also like dinosaurs roam the earth still.
Oh, that's an idea. Did someone wish back
Like
dragon
you'd think one
dinosaurs?
I don't
Is
know.
that why they're
Maybe
interesting?
like the whole entire universe is just a weird like smorgasbord of like wishes interlapping each other that are like kind of fuckety at this point because like
Oh, yeah, that's possible.
we don't once again we don't see enough of like the geopolitical situation of like Dragon Ball. Maybe the biggest concern at this point in time is like alien species are coming to Earth. Like we don't have the answers because Akira Toriyama uh, also passed away.
Yeah,
So we'll never actually fully get answers to like his in-universe um situations at this point.
and that's
So
not really, yeah, and a lot of this is just like that's not what the story's about. He just wants a cool world. Like, the story's about Goku, like, becoming
yeah.
stronger and whatnot. It's not,
Mhm.
yeah, it's not necessarily more complicated than that at all times.
Unlike like One Piece, where we see like people actively trying to overthrow the government. So nobody's trying to overthrow this dog. So I think we're in fairly good
Yeah, how
hands.
bad can he be? I mean, look at him.
Maybe
He's
the
such a good
dog
boy.
is what the dog solved all our world issues at this point.
Mommy, can I pet the president?
And he has no like political opposition, so I mean, yeah, like he's a king, so he's like absolutist like power, unless you're like taking into account like commie.
Yeah, I have no idea how old this dog is
Because if
either.
we go into the whole entire like the hierarchy of well, so he only ever had one wish in theory.
Yeah,
But I mean, I guess with that one wish making yourself king, you have like a lot of But that's not true because there's other kings.
yeah.
So is he the king of all kings?
Yeah, I don't know. Is Yeah, I have no idea. I don't think it's. I don't think they ever answer that question. I think like Krillin's a cop at one point. Who is he
Because
a
like
cop for? Like, someone's issuing currency. Who's issuing
well,
currency in this world? I have no idea.
Well, like obviously currency is like a big aspect of it, but like I mean, if you as a farmer who makes like sorry, I was just thinking of like Gohan trying to like figure out Goku's tax situation currently.
No, haven't you seen the meme? Goku does his own taxes.
No.
Oh shit! Yeah, no, there was a meme. There was a meme where he was doing his own taxes. I forgot about that. Which I'm perfectly counting. I'll count that
Okay.
as canon.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is this got silly. Uh,
I
we got there. Uh,
we got there.
yeah. I guess I don't have any answers, folks. I guess that's the
I
end
don't
of
get it
this.
anymore. Yeah.
I guess I guess you'll have to gather them and really think for yourself. What do you want to do with it?
Yes.
Maybe Oolong was right, and the true answer is to just wish for girls' panties the entire time. Maybe that's just the solution. Maybe that's the only ethical choice.
Y- Wasn't there like in the Dragon Ball Z Abridged universe there was uh an episode where they're gathering up the Dragon Balls and like Oolong's trying to wish back like pig eugenics essentially,
I think that's maybe a joke they made. I don't remember.
and then Gohan asks why he wants them, and he's like, "Panties, I want to wish for panties," and then it like shows what he actually wants, and it's like pig Hitlerism. I don't know the exact definition. Like, I guess pigs just like pig people rising to power over humans,
A police state.
essentially. Yes.
That joke was too obvious and too subtle at the same time. Um, no, but in all seriousness, you don't give Oolong the wish because Oolong is a bad person. Oolong, I'm pretty sure, is a pedophile. That's just how that works.
Yeah,
I think even maybe more
which
so than
apparently in
Roshi.
Japanese
Like,
culture is just like well, yeah, like when you look at Roshi at that point in time, like he was hitting on 14-year-old at like the age of 80 or whatever, which like like didn't even really think about as a kid because I remember reading Dragon Ball as a kid and going, that's kind of fucked up. Like,
also, I mean, like you're a teenager, and that's like. But anyway, I think even then, Oolong was like straight up like kids, my man. Just like he is kidnapping like little girls. And that was yeah, he's a piece of shit. You don't give him it's weird he's a main character. Like again, even more so than Roshi. He makes Roshi look like reasonable and tame.
mhm.
Is that the end of the episode?
Yeah, I think I covered majority of what I wanted to talk about, but like, yeah,
Yeah, no, yeah. I don't know. I think we're doing either an oops all politics next time or a thing about Starship Troopers.
yes,
Which I watched like the first third of that movie yesterday, and I realized like
hmm
there's a minute where he's talking to a recruiter and he's just and because this is I'm mentioning this because it's not going to be in the episode, but he's mentioning to the recruiter, and the recruiter's got a prosthetic hand, and it's revealed that the recruiter does is like also missing his two legs, which I mean that just speaks to how fucked the world is. It's just like, oh wait, he can only afford the prosthetic arm. Like that's how bad this is.
yeah, it's a weirdly ableist.
I'm I
When we're like, yeah, like the people in the army, kind of like the people on pirate ships, like it's a good thing that the pirates are employing the people who don't have arms and legs because nobody else will.
oh that's not even my point. It's just like this system of government that is just like it's charging people like normal. I assume if you lose multiple limbs, they fit you for prosthetics for all the limbs if you want them. And this guy just does not get. He only gets one. Nope, you can only afford one limb. Pick which one you like. Yeah,
Gross.
yeah. No, it's terrible. But we'll get into more of that either next time or the time after. Yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow the Facebook. You can find the
Yeah, and please do if like if you're gonna comment, please bring up what you would use the Dragon Balls for, because like I'm generally curious now, like
Yeah.
how many people are corruptible, and I'm gonna assume it's like a vast majority of them.
Again, we're not here. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like I say at the end of the podcast. We're not here to explain why it works. We're just here to explain what happened, which kind of applies here.
It kind of works for this.
Yeah, it does.
Kind of.
Because we didn't really come up with an
Anyways,
answer.
thank you.
Anyway, see you later. Bye.